welcome back to UniX TCG, and today we are hopping back on the OP05 dive. There's just so much content, and I'm sorry, there's a lot of things to jump into with the other games I guess go over, but at the same time, it's just like we're getting a new set, the set's changing the entire meta, there's like a lot going in to this current OP05 drop. So we are going to dive in and talk a little bit more about Sakazuki because there's multiple ways you can play him, and I want to be as comprehensive as possible between here and the Patreon. So if this is your first time at Universe X, or you have been looking at the videos and you like the vibe but you haven't, now is the perfect time to hit that subscribe button, maybe like the video, comment, let me know your thoughts so it trends and we keep growing. So with that being said, let's hop on over to the card view so we can talk about some other facets of Sakazuki to round off the coverage on how to play / build the deck. If you guys haven't been paying attention, I have been doing a kind of OP05 / Nats meta breakdown, going into all these decks that you should be seeing at top tables. We are pretty much about to round off the newer decks coming into the format. So the next step on the channel is pretty much going to be diving into the decks that can still be played from previous metas like Cough Cough Law. That is right, even though the ban list has come through, Law is not dead, Law is far from dead, and you guys are going to learn something in the upcoming week, 2 weeks, whether it be on Twitter, Facebook, an event, or just like on this channel. But outside of that, on Patreon, which will be on the screen here, it'll be in the description, it'll be in the comments, I am also doing dives that are too long for me to put on here. Really in-depth, intricate dives. I've already done one on Blue Black Sakazuki. That is a 12-page write-up on the deck. We are going to be doing Luffy, Purple Luffy next Friday, and I'm also going to try to squeeze in a continuation of the Sakazuki article, which is going to be a deeper dive to what this video is doing, because this video is going to go over a lot of stuff, but of course, like when I'm writing pages and pages and pages, I can't fit that in a video. So if you want to check out that content, go on over to the link, check out the Patreon, help your boy out, look at some deep dives, because I promise you I have a lot of knowledge to offer. Now, when it comes to this deck though, you can be playing it in a multitude of different ways. In the first video and the first article, I was mostly focusing on the big body drop where you're playing Mihawks, you're using Marineford in your leader ability to be able to put down anything except 10 drops, and then 10 drops need a little more assistance. However, there is another build that's became way more popular in the Japanese meta, and that build is more of a combo-centric Sakazuki build, where you're going to be focusing, instead of cards like Mihawk, you're going to be focusing way more on a card like Hellhounds, or I think Blaze of Hounds or Hounds of Blaze, something like that. I forgot what the official translation is, but this is more of a build that uses a combination of cards to bring anything on the board down to about 2 cost, and then you just remove it from the board. So why would you play this version? Well, before we get into that, we need to talk about the thing that makes it all possible. And this engine, so to speak, is played in both versions to a degree. So let's talk about it here and now. So the first card I want to talk about, and I have to let you know because I can see it, do not pay attention to the red eyes. I have an eye thing going on. I'm using the drippy droppies and they're irritated. So when it comes to this actual engine, the first card we want to talk about is Rebecca. Rebecca says she's a 4-cost blocker. On play, add up to 1 black character with a cost of 3 to 7 other than Rebecca from your trash to your hand. Then play up to 1 black character with a cost of 3 or less from your hand rested. This is going to be good because she recycles a whole bunch of cards. You play this 4-cost blocker and you can get back OP02 4-cost black Borsalino blocker. You can get back OP05 Rob Lucci as a 4-cost Rob Lucci as an offensive threat. You can get back starter deck 6 black Gina. Is it Gina or Hina? These things are things that I always forget. I think it's Hina. It is Hina. So yeah, you can get back Hina, and you can also play her with the effect. So there's a multitude of cards that you can get back from the grave Tashigi, from the starter deck as well. You can get back a lot of things. So some 2Ks, you can get back a lot of enabler cards that will be like, okay, well, let me just like minus something here. You can get back 4-drop Kuzan, you can get back Borsalino, you can get back Rob Lucci. But then the second part, where you can play a character with a cost of 3 or less from your hand rested, means that you can play things like Brand New and look at your top 3 for Navy cards. You can play things like Tashigi, you can play things like Hina. Well, Tashigi's not the best because she comes in rest and she needs to turn herself rest, but you can play Gina and minus something by 4. You can play Toy Soldier, and Toy Soldier can bottom deck itself to minus something by 3. So you can see right here, this card is going to allow you to play herself and then bring, either just get a card back to your hand and play something else from your hand, or bring something from the trash and then play it if it has the right cost. So this is a very, very, very powerful card. The next part of this combo is, or this engine, is Mancherry. Mancherry, because if you notice, Rebecca cannot recur herself, but Mancherry over here being a 1-drop that says activate main 1. You may rest this character and place 2 cards from your trash to the bottom of your deck in any order. Then add up to 1 black character card with a cost of 3 to 5 from your hand to your trash. So this is crazy because it almost has the same reach as Rebecca. It can't get a 6 or a 7, but most of the cards you're bringing back are going to work. The main thing about Mancherry is that Mancherry can recycle Rebecca. She's the only card that recycles Rebecca right now with this, and Rebecca can get all these other cards. So between these 2 cards, your copies of Sabo, your copies of Rob Lucci, your copies of Borsalino, your copies of a lot of cards are going to simply like quadruple. You are going to be able to recycle card after card after card. And when it comes to playing a card like Hellhound, when it comes to playing a card like, I believe it's Meteor Impact, let me make sure, Meteor Volcano, you're going to be able to tap 4 to play Rebecca. Rebecca is going to be able to either grab Hina from your trash and play it, or just grab something else and play the Hina you have in your hand. You're going to be able to then minus something by 4. Then your leader can swing and minus it by another -1. This is going to bring it down to -5. And then if it was a 7 cost or like less, it's going to be able to be destroyed by the extra card that we're going to get into, Houndblaze. So that is essentially the engine part of these 2 things. You've got Rebecca and you've got Mancherry. Now, I did talk about some of the cards that you could bring back, but before we go into some of the targets there, I do want to bring up the cards that become your removal. In this particular list, you're not using Mihawk, and you do have some copies of Borsalino, you have some copies of Rob Lucci, but the cards that you're mainly pushing for destruction here are going to be Houndblaze. So putting this up on the screen, 2 cost, activate main, up to 1 of your leader or character cards gains plus 3k power during this turn, then place up to 1 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 2 or less at the bottom of the owner's deck. Trigger, return up to 1 character with a cost of 3 or less to the owner's hand. Trigger, Dog Water. Effect, very good, because it turns your leader into a base 8k on top of doing all this removal. So generally with this removal chain, you're going to be able to put something 7 or less down, sometimes even more depending on the other setup you have on the board, and then you're going to have a leader swing that's base 8k. A single Dawn makes him 9k. That's excellent for what he wants to do. So that is pretty much what you got going on there. Then you also do have Meteor Volcano, because essentially Meteor Volcano is going to go down 1 less. And what this is really good against is essentially like Purple Luffy, because a lot of their blockers are going to be 5 cost. So once you put Hina on the board, you will be able to tap 2 to be able to just remove a kid blocker, a queen, you know, anything like that. And also, if you get this triggered from your life, the draw 2 trash 1 card from your hand is an excellent trigger to have. So with that being said, you have the 2 cards that remove. You see that there's Rebecca and Mancherry that have combos together. And then the things that are out here, like I said before, the main difference between a deck that uses the Hellhound / Meteor Volcano and not is the inclusion of Hina. Hina is a very good card, but in a deck that's using more, you know, leaning more on Mihawk, you're going to be at a point where you don't necessarily need to -4 things. You know, you already have the ability to just use Mihawk to put something 9 cost or down if you have Marineford and your leader Sakazuki. But in this deck, we have a dual core of Hina, normally coming off of the free play for Rebecca, but you also have Kuzan, who will draw a card when you come into play, or when he comes into play, and then every time he swings, he's gonna be able to -4 to something on the board. And once you have him on board, between Hina and Kuzan, nothing is really safe. If you already have Kuzan on board, you can literally do the whole Rebecca combo into Hina, then swing with Kuzan. Whatever they have on the board, even a 10 cost, is going to be 2 costs at this point, which means it can be Blaze Hounded off the board or Hound Blaze off the board. So this is a very, very, very strong combo, and it's actually the way that a lot of decks in JP are currently using Sakazuki, because with this particular combo, you can actually blow out multiple cards at the same time. Yes, you can stack their effects to hit a 10 drop, hit a 9 drop, but your opponent is sitting on, you know, a 7 drop kid and a 5 drop kid blocker and a queen blocker. You know what you can do with this deck, since you have a 7, a 5, and a 5? You can, from full 10 Dawn, you can tap 4 to play Rebecca, recur a Hina, or already have a Hina in hand, recur something else, play the Hina, drop the kid to I mean, I guess if you this would require like a Kuzan on board, but purple doesn't have a lot of removal in its current like list for most of the time. So look, you can have like a Kuzan on board. That was the missing link, and you can play a Rebecca for 4, and that Rebecca will get back Hina, or play Hina if you already have it in hand. That Hina minuses the 5 drop kid down to 1 cost. Okay, now you swing with Kuzan, and you can or you can do that first so they don't exactly know where you're going, but you swing with Kuzan, you minus the kid down from 7 to 3. Then you swing with your leader and you minus the kid down from 3 to 2. At this point, now that you have these effects, and that order was wrong, because I think you would swing with your Kuzan minusing the kid down, then you'd swing with the leader minusing the kid down to 2, then you'd play the Rebecca into the Hina, which would minus the kid blocker down to 1. This is the point where you tap 4 more Dawn and you play Rob Lucci, and Rob Lucci will take down the 2 cost, now set the 7 drop kid that's now 2, and then it'll also take down the 5 drop kid that is now 1. And now, just like that, you have added a blocker and a swinger to your board, but you have taken out 2 of their cards out of 3. And generally, purple Luffy is only playing 1 to 2 meaningful cards. If they want to tap out, they can play 2 5 drops. If they want to, you know, play 9 drop Kaido or 7 drop Kid, that's pretty much their turn. However, now, or Magellan, you can play Magellan as a 5 cost too, but now you're going to be in this position where it's going to be a lot rougher for you to amass a board against Sakazuki. This is how Sakazuki is handling these decks that go wide. That's why people are calling it Saka Lucci, because once you do all these Gina Kuzan shenanigans, Rob Lucci is the most busted removal in the entire game right now. So this is actually a very, very, very good thing. And the cool part is, lots of people are like, okay, well, what is the main boon to playing this over a more Mihawk oriented deck? Well, the main boon is a lot of purple players are maining 4 copies of Magellan, because if they can see Magellan on turn 2, and then even more so if they can see Magellan on turn 2 and turn 3, they can keep you off of your curve and just harass you. And then you just have these Magellan swings coming in that they have to deal with, and if they deal with, they're even further behind on curve. So Magellan is keeping people off playing their 9 drops, their 8 drops, their 10 drops on curve, and that can potentially put your game back to a point where you're struggling in a position where you normally wouldn't have been struggling. This deck only needs essentially 6 Dawn to remove most things in the game, because you are going to be able to go, all right, well, I mean, Rebecca, Hina, or Rebecca, and I already have my Kuzan on board maybe, or yeah, any one of these combinations, and then you just tap 2 for the Blaze Hounds, Hound Blaze, and then you just remove something that costs 7 or 6 or less, 7 or less because of your leader swing. So this is kind of the things that we're getting into here. So my quick question for you guys now that we are here is, what do you guys think that you like more? Do you like a Mihawk based strategy more, or do you like the combo oriented Hound Blaze / Meteor Volcano version more? I just want to know what you guys think in the comments if you guys have tested them. If you haven't tested them, eventually we will have some footage up showcasing both of them. But in the meantime, I will be crafting that second Sakazuki article over my Patreon. So like I said, make sure you give that a shout out or a look-sees. But yeah, that being said, we are going to head into the closing. And like I promised my Patreon members, there's going to be new splash pages just showcasing the people that support the channel. So thank you guys for watching. And we're going to go into that right now. And just like I said before, this is just going to be the part of the video where I honor the people that are helping support me directly via the Patreon. I want all you guys to get your recognition. I'm going to separate this by tiers so you guys can just see. But thank you guys for keeping the channel the way it's able to be, supporting me so I can do bigger and better things, travel to events, and I want to just give all that love to you guys. That being said, if you guys want to see what the Patreon's all about, just hop on over in the link in the description and check it out. We got some deep dives that are too long to go on this channel, and hope it's going to be a lot of good information for you guys. So thanks, and I will see you guys in the next video. Later.